Lately, it's been harder to find a job, especially if you look at this headline. 9.9 million Gen Z are now unemployed. Either way, they don't have a job or they are not pursuing specific education or training. Initially, when I saw this news, I thought it was maybe because many Gen Z are still young and it just takes time for absorption. Turns out, no. Turns out, if you research deeper, the problem is bigger than you think. One of the issues I'll discuss in this video is that this is one of the things that will hinder us from reaching Indonesia Emas 2045. And it's understandable why most people are concerned about this, because they are afraid, is their future safe or not? There's even a survey from BI that said in January that over the next 6 months there will be a decline in job availability. Not to mention a statement from the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education. He said tertiary education is optional, so it's not mandatory to fulfill. Plus, there's a survey from Talent Acquisition. Many companies in Indonesia are in a hiring freeze. They don't want to hire new employees because they fear they might have to lay them off in the future. Moreover, there's a fact. This is a survey brought that 40% of employers don't want to hire Gen Z employees. So where exactly is the problem? Is it true that our Gen Z is somewhat messed up? And what should we actually do? Because if the country can provide jobs for its citizens, it means it's already a very critical situation. If you are Gen Z, I suggest you watch until the end because this is to help you understand and prepare yourself for the future, what your future will look like. And one of the biggest problems I've spotted is that they don't subscribe. Okay. Actually, there are four big problems I've identified: state issues, education issues, employment issues, and lastly, issues from Gen Z itself. And yes, let's start with the hottest topic. I'm sure most of you don't know the origins of why Indonesia is so behind. Enter Chapter 1, State Issues. Do you know why Indonesia is behind? Because when we talk about jobs, we have to measure from the productivity of the country itself. Do you know why Apple ultimately invests in Vietnam, not in Indonesia? If you don't know, watch my other video. But basically, it's like this. This is knowledge that I think you should know. When we talk about productivity, there has to be a ladder. It can be skipped from farmers suddenly becoming AI engineers, and it turns out there's already a roadmap. For almost all developed countries in the world, they always go through these three sectors first: agriculture, manufacturing, then service. Simply put, let's look at the country that now seems very powerful, which is China. Almost the majority of developing countries have to start with agriculture first, where the citizens, even if low skilled, are directed to farming, planting, harvesting, which output provides our basic necessities, so food, materials for clothing, for houses, and this is what developed countries experience. In the early stage of their development, the second step is manufacturing. At this stage, China went crazy. After they passed the agricultural phase, China really opened the door for all foreign nations to invest in their country so that the citizens, who at that time were still categorized as low-skilled, at least could operate machines. And it has to spread across many industries, so what used to be raw materials, the country and its citizens can process those materials into finished goods. The latter goes from farming to operating machines. Finally, the last sector, called the tertiary sector, is the service sector, where citizens in the value chain can add value by providing services to others. The easiest way to understand the step-by-step is basically like a rice analogy. To perform, the end result is rice. For example, the value comes out as 1,000. That rice goes into manufacturing to become the price for flour, increasing its price to 10,000. Then it goes into the service sector, where there's a chef who creates the recipe, cooks into a delicious cake sold for 100,000. That's called the value chain, but increasingly all three sectors evolve due to technology, and they all require high skill level. Where agriculture domains are moving towards AOT, automation, manufacturing is leading towards AI chips that will skilled people can no longer operate the machines. Surprise business involve IT developing AI itself. Indonesia is actually experiencing premature deindustrialization. Previously, when our economic development rose to 8% and we were in the heyday of manufacturing, we were still prematurely killed off and people moved so quickly to the service sector. That's why if you look at our country and its citizens, not many can produce their inferior products. In the end, we have to rely heavily on imports from neighboring countries because our manufacturing is lagging. This is actually a very long story you can read from this article.